Episode 4 The Voice in the Vent. Sophie was 8 when she first heard the voice in the vent. It started on a rainy Wednesday. Her mom was in the kitchen, and Sophie sat cross-legged on the floor of her room, coloring. A faint whisper tickled her ear. She paused, and looked over at the vent near the baseboard, and tilted her head. "Hi there," a whispered voice came. She blinked. The voice was soft, friendly, like someone trying not to scare a skittish cat. "Who are you?" she asked. "I'm your friend," the voice replied. "What are you doing in the vent?" she asked. "I live here. The vents are my home." She didn't tell her mom that day, or the next. After all, the voice was kind. It complimented her on her drawings. It told silly riddles. It knew things about her, like what pajamas she wore, or when she forgot to brush her teeth. After a week or so, Sophie asked her mom, "Is there someone who lives in the vents?" Her mom chuckled. "Like a mouse?" "No, a man." The spoon she was holding clattered into the sink. "What are you talking about?" "There's a man that talks to me through the vents." Sophie's mom, Brooke, chalked it up to imagination. Her daughter had always had a vivid one, especially since the divorce. The divorce had been hard on both of them, and now, moving into this rental property, everything unfamiliar. It's no wonder her imagination was running wild. Brooke called the pediatrician, and then looked into therapy for both of them. Anything to help get them through this new life. One night, while walking past Sophie's room, Brooke heard her daughter talking. She opened the door all the way to see Sophie sitting in front of the vent. Sophie turned to look at her as Brooke said, "You know what? I've had enough of this nonsense." She stormed out of the room. Sophie could hear her mom rummaging around downstairs. Her mom returned holding a roll of duct tape. She sealed the vent shut with the tape. That night, Sophie cried. The next day, Brooke got home from work and noticed the front door was open. She walked in, frustrated that Sophie didn't shut it when she got home from school. "Sophie, you know better than to leave the door open," she hollered as she walked into the house. Just then, Sophie's school bus pulled up in front of the house, and Sophie got out. "Hi, Mom." Brooke looked around, thinking to herself, "Did I shut and lock the door this morning? We were rushing, so neither of us would be late. I can't remember." After dinner, Sophie colored for a while at the kitchen table. "It's about time to get ready for bed," Sophie's mom told her. "Fine," Sophie replied in exasperation. After brushing her teeth and getting into her pajamas, she noticed that the tape was ripped off the vent. Downstairs, Brooke heard Sophie scream. She dropped the pan she was washing and ran upstairs. Sophie was hiding under her bed, shaking and crying. "Sophie, what is it? What's wrong?" Brooke asked. "He's mad now. He says you're being mean and you shouldn't have done that," Sophie said through tears as she pointed to the vent that was no longer taped. Brooke pulled Sophie out from under the bed, picked her up, and ran out of the house. They ran to the neighbor's house, and Brooke called the police. The police arrived and swept the house. Nothing. No signs of forced entry, no intruders. They were about to chalk it up to stress until an officer yelled down from the attic. An entrance to a crawl space in the attic was covered by insulation. The officer had almost missed it. "I think I've got something here," he hollered down through his dust mask. It led to a vent system. Inside the cramped space was evidence of long-term habitation. In a larger area between the two floors was a worn mattress, canned food, empty water bottles, clothing, and personal belongings carefully tucked away. They discovered a notebook filled with obsessive entries, detailed logs of Sophie's days, notes on her habits, and pages marked with chilling phrases like, "She listens better than anyone," and "We were meant to be a family." But the person was gone. No prints, no ID, No sign of their whereabouts. Brooke and Sophie moved into a hotel. Police officers patrolled the property. The investigation even gained national attention. Sophie stopped speaking. She would just clutch her stuffed bear like it was a lifeline. Brooke stayed by her side, haunted by the thoughts of the intruder. As weeks passed, the case faded from headlines, but the unanswered questions still lingered. Then, about a month later, Brooke received a plain envelope with no return address at their new rental they were currently living in. Inside was a single Polaroid. Brooke and Sophie sitting at the small kitchen table in their new house, eating dinner. The photo was taken from outside through the window. Tucked behind the picture was a note, written in pencil on yellow-lined paper. Sophie was happiest when I was there. We are meant to be a family. Thank you for listening to Stories You Didn't Ask For. If you're enjoying these short tales, it really helps me if you like and subscribe to the channel, which would be great. And remember, new stories arrive every Wednesday. Thanks again.